Virat universal form as appearing in the material world is imaginary. It is to enable the less intelligent and neophytes to adjust to the idea of Lord having form. But factually, the Lord has no material purport. The conception of the Lord having his Vishwarupa or the Virat Rupa is particularly not mentioned along with the various incarnations of the Lord, because all the incarnations of the Lord mentioned above are transcendental, and there is no tinge of materialism in their bodies. There is no difference between the body and self as there is in the conditioned soul. The Virat Rupa is conceived for those who are just neophyte worshippers. For them, the material Virat Rupa is presented, and it will be explained in the second canto. In the Virat Rupa, the material manifestations of different planets have been conceived as his legs, hands, etc. Actually, all such descriptions are for the neophytes. The neophytes cannot conceive anything beyond matter. The material conception of the Lord is not counted in the list of his factual forms. As Paramatma or Super Soul, the Lord is within each and every material form, even within the atoms, but the outward material form is but an imagination, both for the Lord and for the living being. The present forms of the conditioned souls are also not factual. The conclusion is that material conceptions of the body of the Lord as Virat is imaginary. Both the Lord and the living beings are living spirits and have original spiritual body. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Saraswati Nirvishesha Shurya Krishna Krishna Etat Rupam Bhagavato Hi Arupyasya Chit Atmana Maya Gunay Vidichitam Maha Adirvir Atmani. The conception of the Virat universal form of the Lord as appearing in the material world is imaginary. It is to enable the less intelligent and neophytes to adjust to the idea of Lord's having form, but factually the Lord has no material form. In this verse, speaking about the Lord's universal form, which is told as Lord has no material form, but the Virat Rupa of Lord is described here, which is manifested just for the sake of cosmic manifestation. It mentions that for neophytes it's manifested. As we understand, not everyone in spiritual life, not everyone is on the same level. There are different kinds of transcendentalists, jnanis, yogis, karmis, different transcendentalists, and even in that they have different level. So to enable neophytes to conceive something of supreme, so for that this manifestation of Virat form helps them, because neophyte means they are not much advanced, so they are completely absorbed in matter, and they cannot see anything beyond matter. So that's why this when they have this conception of Virat form, they can imagine, they can at least perceive Lord in material terms. It's described like the sun and the moon, they are eyes of the Lord. Mountains, the trees, foliage, they are like hair of the Lord. Upper planetary system, they are like the upper body of the Lord, and the lower planetary systems, they are like legs of the Lord. We understand this, like sun and moon. Without the presence of this illuminance, without presence of light, we cannot see. It's like if sun is not there, moon is not there, we cannot really see. We may artificially switch off some light source, like electric bulb or something, but we need a light source. So unless Krishna allows us to see, we cannot see. So in this manner, if someone understands Krishna, they also advance, because there is relation of material things to the supreme. So that's why the neophytes, they also advance in such manner. And it says like the neophytes, they are absorbed in materialism, so they cannot really appreciate Lord Krishna's name, form, pastimes. It says, Atha Shri Krishna Nama Adi Na Bhave Vigrahane Indriye Sevan Mukhe Hi Jivadu Swayam Evam Spurete Ada. You cannot understand Krishna's name, form, pastimes with the blunt material senses. And we understand, as someone is beginning spiritual life, the senses, they are completely absorbed in materialism. So with those senses, if we try to understand, we cannot really understand, because Shastras tell us we cannot understand Krishna just by these senses. How can we understand? Sevan mukhe hi jivado, by service attitude, by developing this love of Krishna. All of these would be gradually revealed. So to facilitate spiritual advancement for all levels, this conception is there. And Virat Rupa, as we understand from Bhagavad Gita, even Arjuna was shown this universal form on his request. We understand it's not permanent, it is just manifested for this cosmic manifestation. It's not present in the spiritual world. Just like in spiritual world, there is no Paramatma conception. Similarly, there is no Virat Rupa conception. Because we understand a devotee, he cannot love the Virat conception of the Lord. He is like Arjuna, when he was already in Sakhya relationship with the Lord, the transcendental relationship of friendship. He was in this conception. But when Lord shows his universal form, his attitude toward the Lord changes from that of friendship to awe and reverence. He started asking for forgiveness. Please forgive me in friendship. I called you O Krishna, O Yadava, O Keshava. So please forget all the offenses. Please forgive all the offenses that I have done. We understand Krishna's relationship, Arjuna's relationship with Krishna. It got changed from that of friendship to of awe and reverence. So that's why we understand, like in spiritual world, everyone is serving Krishna, and especially in Golok Vrindavan, there is no awe and reverence. The mode of Aishwarya is not there. It's a Madhurya mode. So Prabhupada, he writes in his Bhagavad Gita commentary, like chapter 11:8, it says like a devotee is not attracted by godless display of opulences, but by transcendental loving features of Krishna. So this is the verse where Krishna is about to show his universal form. So a devotee, he is not attracted by just a show of opulences. He is attracted by Krishna's transcendental qualities of him being a perfect child, perfect husband, perfect lover. A devotee is attracted by those transcendental loving features. Because we understand everyone is seeking rasa. Everyone is seeking rasa in the relationship, some taste. But those who are really spiritual persons, they are not. They don't identify themselves as man, as woman, as someone else. They identify themselves as servant of the Lord. It's like a man needs a woman in material world, but a servant of the Lord needs servant for serving Krishna. So that's why in spiritual world, everyone is serving Krishna out of this pure love for him, attracted by his transcendental qualities. And in Golok Vrindavan, devotees, they never want Krishna to show his opulences, because their natural this inclination to serve Krishna is hindered by this. We can understand by the example, like Mother Yashoda, she was also shown on this universe, the model of universe in the form. She was shown universe in the mouth by Krishna. Then she was thinking, I was thinking that Krishna to be my son, but he's not really my son. He's supreme. So her mood also got changed because when Krishna showed his opulence. So they are in pure love and they don't want to know Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So of course that's a very high level. We have to begin with knowing Krishna as supreme, as the supreme controller, as the supreme proprietor of all planets. So in this way we have to understand. But we understand those who are playmates of Krishna, those who are playing with Krishna, they are highly pious souls. Even after executing so many pious activities for Krishna, to dedicate it to Krishna, they are getting chance to associate with him. They are not some normal personalities. After executing penances, austerities for Krishna, after so many births, they get Krishna as their playmate. So it's in Bhagavatam, it's described like Krita Punya Punja. After acquiring so many heaps of pious activities, they are getting this chance to associate and play with Supreme Personality of Godhead. If we see here, devotee is not really interested to see universal form of the Lord. It's mentioned even in a puppet. So then one may ask, like, then why Arjuna, he asked the form? Because Arjuna is already a devotee, because Krishna says, Bhakto sine asaka cheti, you are my devotee, you are my friend, that's why I am telling you Bhagavad Gita. Then Arjuna asked, like, please show me the universal form of yours, I want to see that. Then why did Arjuna ask such a question to Krishna to show his universal form? So we understand, like, Arjuna, he is representing the parampara, how actually we should understand Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna is there to tell people what's the real way of understanding Bhagavad Gita and how to understand Krishna as supreme. Because in future there might be people, those who claim to be incarnations of God. There's so many bogus incarnations. They will claim that I am incarnation, I am avatar of Krishna, I am Kalki, this or that. So to not get influenced by all of these people, Arjuna asked Krishna to show his universal form of the Lord, so that he can set example. No, it's not that Krishna proved himself Supreme Personality of Godhead theoretically, but he actually revealed himself as the Supreme. So to establish that, Arjuna asked Krishna to show his universal form, and so that we can also follow the footsteps of Arjuna and distinguish truth from illusion, bogus thing from real thing. So that's why that's why Arjuna asked Krishna to reveal himself in his universal form. But if you understand, the atheistic people, they will never accept these things, even though they might quote Mahabharata, quote Ramayana. They will say all of these things, they are imaginary. Krishna is not supreme. He just showed some magic. Just like there is instance in Mahabharata, when Krishna goes to Duryodhana for last attempt to avoid this Mahabharata war. So Krishna went as a messenger, but Duryodhana, he was not really in the he didn't really want peace. He just want the battle. So after Krishna tried his last attempt to mitigate the war, and it cannot happen. When Krishna, he was going back, the Duryodhana, he tried to capture Krishna. Krishna went as a messenger, and the etiquette is that you do not capture some messenger, because he is just carrying the message. You don't capture the messenger. This is the etiquette. But Duryodhana, he transgresses this etiquette, and he tried to capture Krishna. But then Krishna, he showed some universal form to Duryodhana. Like, see, I'm not just, you're thinking like a normal human being. I'm not a normal human being. But then Duryodhana, he said, oh, you're doing some kind of magic. You're just a magician, a Mayavi. In Sanskrit, you are just a Mayavi, exhibiting some form of magic. I also know so many people, they do some magic. I can also do magic. Let's see, you come to the battlefield and we'll see who has real strength. So we see foolish people and atheistic people, they cannot really understand Krishna. And even there are people like Duryodhana in today's time as well. Like, if we tell about all of these instances of Krishna being supreme, Krishna revealing himself as supreme, Krishna telling as supreme, they will not accept it. They will just accept half things from Shastra. Oh, look, Krishna, he was shot in the foot and that's how he died. They will just accept Krishna, he's just a normal man. They'll say, oh, see, there was some hunter, and hunter came and he shot an arrow, and the arrow touched his foot, and that's how Krishna, he died. But if we are quoting from Bhagavatam, then you should quote all the things where Krishna is described as supreme. No one really dies by just by being shot in a foot. Even nowadays we have people, those who are in military, they get their leg shot, some bullet or some mortar, or somehow they step on some mine, their legs got blown up, but they don't really die. They are a normal human being. But he is Krishna. Krishna is there in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, right where Bhishma is there, Drona is there, and on opposite party they are great warriors, and he is facing them, and at that time they cannot really harm Krishna. But when people they don't understand these things, and they just like to quote some portion of Shastra which suits their vision, which suits their mentality, what they have already made in their mind. Like Krishna is just a man, and he is not God. He is just some material form Krishna has taken. So those people, they cannot really understand Krishna. Their knowledge has been stolen by illusion. Maya avrita jnanam. Maya has covered himself. So, but how can we really understand Krishna if we accept everything? Just like Arjuna said, sarvam etat ritam manye. So Krishna, whatever you have said, I accept everything. It's not like I just accept some portion of it. So that's why Arjuna, being present in Bhagavad Gita and conversing with Krishna, is very essential to facilitate a proper understanding of Krishna being a supreme personality of God. And here it's mentioned like this neophytes, they cannot really think anything beyond the matter. So that's why it's hard for them to appreciate Krishna, because Krishna is not material, Krishna is spiritual. So they are already absorbed in material things, neophytes. So it requires a higher degree of consciousness to appreciate Krishna, his activities, his name, his form and pastimes. So we can understand this by an example, like politicians, these elections they are coming up. So some politicians, they manipulate people just by giving freebies, free gifts, blankets. They'll give cold drinks, blankets, alcohol. They will distribute among these people so that they can get their vote. And the people who are not really intelligent, they don't really have high consciousness, they will just give their vote to such people. But they don't understand that by encouraging this, they are encouraging black money. They are encouraging, because they are distributing all of these things. So they have to get money for these things, and when they will get come in government, they will steal money from taxpayers. They will cheat. They will do corruption. So all of these things, they will degrade the country. That will not help the society, but those who are really they have some developed understanding, they will understand such politicians we shouldn't encourage, those who are distributing freebies, because this is ultimately taxpayer monies. They are not spending money out of their pocket. They will somehow even this, if they spend money and they get in power, they will exploit people, they will exploit resources, they will do corruption. So all of these things, they are not good for the society, for the nation. So they really understand who should be a real leader. They should have a vision. They should have integrity. So similarly, we can see they are people. A higher degree of consciousness is required even to appreciate material things. So appreciate Krishna, who is completely spiritual, not tinge of this material qualities are there in Krishna. We need a very high degree of consciousness. We cannot just jump. It's always said you cannot jump. You cannot just understand Krishna's pastime. It's like it says you chant Radha's name. You chant you could do solitary bhajana and you just do chanting like this. You go in Vrindavan, you go in Radha Kund, you just go and chant there. By this you will advance. But this is extremely advanced stage. We cannot do this. No one in Kali Yuga they have this ability to do this, because we are completely absorbed in matter. And for that, to get out of that absorption, we have to engage in service of Krishna, and slowly will become purified, and all of these things will be revealed in the heart. And we understand, just like people, they want to know more about Krishna's rasas, Krishna's pastimes with the gopis, Krishna's dealings in Gita Govinda, book by Jayadeva Goswami. People, they want to understand all of these things. But what they can really understand, if they understand from Shastra, like how do we understand Krishna? Not just by reading books, not just by reading intimate pastimes of Krishna, but by developing the service attitude. If we don't have the service attitude, we'll not be able to appreciate Krishna's dealing, Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's name, form. Because as we are absorbed in material conception, we will similarly try to put the same material conception on Krishna. Or Krishna is, it's like people, they are selfish here. So maybe Krishna is looking like outwardly he is also selfish, but Krishna is not like this. He is completely spiritual. There is no tinge of material qualities in him. So that's why if we are not purified by service, so it will not facilitate. Instead, it will degrade our. Instead, it will degrade us. There was one disciple of Prabhupada during Prabhupada's time. He was Prabhupada disciple, and then he went to Radhakund to chant Hare Krishna in a solitary place, in a secluded place. But what did Prabhupada say about it? Did Prabhupada approve? No, he didn't approve. He said mostly he would be thinking about women and money, even though he is chanting externally, but mostly he would be thinking about that. But one may say, like, he is chanting Hare Krishna, why is Prabhupada saying this? But Prabhupada is experienced, a spiritual master. And then later it was found out, like after some time, the devotee who had gone to chant in a solitary place, he was not there at Radhakund. He just no one knows where he went actually. We can understand by these instances, like it's not so easy to just to imitate a higher level of spiritual advancement just by chanting, just by doing these things. We have to follow Mahajana, we have to follow Srila Prabhupada. The system he gave is perfect, what we need. But those who always, it's known in history, those who always want to know more, those who always want to, they are not really satisfied with Prabhupada's teachings. Those who want to know more than what Prabhupada gave us, they cannot really stand the test of time in spiritual life, because Prabhupada knew our problem, what we are suffering from. We are suffering from this material desire, base material desires, lust, anger, greed, envy. All of these should be removed. Then later we can understand Krishna's pastimes, because there were instances when Prabhupada was there, and when Prabhupada was manifest in the world, the devotees, they were practicing within ISKCON. And when Prabhupada left, so there were many attempts to convert ISKCON devotees to other sampradayas, because they were saying, Prabhupada books, he didn't tell you, he just told the basics for you people. He didn't tell you any spiritual things. So you see, all of these books, Krishna's pastimes, intimate pastimes, they are there. Prabhupada never told you about these things. And so they got convinced, oh, Prabhupada, because they didn't really understand spiritual life, what Prabhupada gave us, how to understand spiritual life and what actually is spiritual life. They got convinced by those people, and they converted and they left ISKCON, because they didn't have a proper understanding. Proper understanding is that all of these pastimes, they will be revealed in heart in due course of time, when we engage ourselves in service. Because how it will be revealed in heart? Krishna is there in form of Paramatma in everyone's heart, and Krishna says, Mata sivriti jnanam aponam cha. From me comes knowledge, remembrance and forgetfulness. When Krishna sees that we are trying to serve him, we are trying to please him, then Krishna, he gives his knowledge about himself, how to serve him better, how to increase our service. So like this, Krishna, he will reveal. It's not like we have to jump to some higher understanding, or try to imitate these highly advanced stages of chanting japa in a solitary place. All of these things will not be able to do, and when we are not able to absorb in spiritual activities, we will be forced to come down to material platform, and that will be a cause of our downfall. So all of these things we can't really understand. So to appreciate Krishna fully, we have to come. We have to come to a higher consciousness by trying to imbibe the mood of service. Whatever service is given to us, first of all, we are new. Service will be given to us, and slowly, maybe service will increase. Some responsible post will be given. Then we will not try to think for ourselves, but we'll do things for Krishna. We'll be choosing for Krishna, and it's not like that. Just like you just keep on doing service, and one day you will wake up in Golok Vrindavan. It's not like this. As we do service, as we are every day we are doing service, we are getting purified, and we are choosing things for Krishna, not choosing things for ourselves. We'll choose what Krishna likes. How do we do things for Krishna? So by this consciousness, we'll be elevated, and we can. And if in this consciousness we work, then we'll be transferred to Golok Vrindavan. But for a pure devotee, there is no difference between Golok Vrindavan and wherever he is living. Just like when Mahaprabhu, he was trying to go to Vrindavan, and somehow his associate they asked him to come back, and he was saying, no, I want to go to Vrindavan. Then Advaita Acharya, he said, oh Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, wherever you are, there is Vrindavan. So we understand a pure devotee, he is always eager to serve Krishna. Where is Krishna? I want to serve him. With this attitude, wherever he may be in Los Angeles, he may be in Bangalore, he may be in Chennai, anywhere, he'll always think of serving Krishna, how to serve Krishna. And wherever there is Krishna and his service, that is Golok Vrindavan, because that is what's going on there. So for a pure devotee, there is no difference between spiritual world and wherever he is. Because always with this intense desire to serve Krishna, to engage everyone, he can create the atmosphere of in the Golok Vrindavan, which is serving Krishna. And to appreciate Krishna, we should understand about his name, form, pastimes, which has been given by Acharyas, just like Vishnu Sahasranama. Krishna, so many 1,000 names of Vishnu is there. So like how Krishna is Darpaha, killer of pride. This is just a name of Krishna, Darpaha. Darpa means pride. So Krishna kills pride, not just of demons, but sometimes we also have pride. Sometimes in our dealings, if we do something, we have pride. But if we understand like how Krishna is there, then he is acting in our life to kill our pride, to kill our selfish desires. So in this way, we'll be able to understand if we are always conscious about these things. Oh, Krishna, he did. He killed my pride like this. He saved me from pride. He saved me from these sinful desires. And then we'll be able to appreciate Krishna. And then the real glorification will start. Now we are doing glorification out of just we are told to chant. Just we are told to chant just because we think it's good. It's good to do these things. But there will come a stage, then we'll naturally want to glorify Krishna. Then we'll naturally want to serve Krishna. Then how it will come? By developing this service attitude and trying to know about Krishna's form, pastimes from Shastra, what's been given by Prabhupada. And if we follow this process, then gradually we can understand our understanding of Krishna, our attitude towards serving Krishna, it's increasing. So with these measures, we can progress with these measures, we can have an idea like how our spiritual life is going on. So when we understand about spiritual life through authorized Shastra given by and commentaries given by Prabhupada, and we stick to it, we follow it, we feel the difference. We see how it is changing our lives, how it is impacting our consciousness. And in this way, we make spiritual advancement. Hare Krishna. Any questions? Oh, okay.
So, is there any difference between Virat Rupa and Vishwarupa? Are these two the same things?
Yeah, if we see first line of Prabhupada writes, the conception of the Lord known as Virat Rupa or the Vishwarupa is not particularly mentioned. So Prabhupada is, it's interchangeable.
Also in the translation it said imaginary for this Virat Rupa. So how do you see something that is imaginary? Because Krishna showed it to Arjuna. So
I think
means how to understand that it is called imaginary, although the demigods are being shown that
they are also. I think this imagination is in a sense that it's just like here if we see in Prabhupada writes, but the outward material form is but an imagination for both Lord and living entity. Means our forms, Prabhupada is saying, that is also an imagination. This we can see, understand in this light, like we are right now in this material world, but when a jiva gets liberated, he goes in association with Krishna. So this, whatever life he has lived here, it was just like a imagination, just like a dream, not really something substantial. So I think in this sense we can understand as imagination. Otherwise we may think Prabhupada is writing imagination, so this is maybe mithya, jagat mithya. I think it's not in that sense. It's in that sense just like when someone gets liberated, goes in association with Krishna. So there, this whatever life he has lived, it is just like a dream. So dream is not factual. So it is just like a dream.
In one sense, we actually see a dream, right? But in another sense, it is not real in the sense of the real world. But we are really seeing the dream when we are seeing the dream. So I guess in that sense.
Yeah. Yes. Means dream existed, but it is not factual. It's imaginary. So in that sense, this we are life. This we have these forms, we have this body, but it will perish. It will be just something of a imagination.
This as you said, the cowherd boys who are associating with Krishna, they have done many pious activities.
It's mentioned.
But can we reach Krishna with pious activities?
With pious activities, you cannot reach Krishna. But if you do it for Krishna, if someone wants Krishna, and he is doing it for Krishna, I want to be in association of Krishna, then Krishna, he gives them chance. Just like when I forgot the example, but Krishna he accepted Devaki as mother because Devaki, she had done some austerities for Krishna. So that's why he had accepted Devaki as mother. So after doing penances and austerities for Krishna for so long, so he became pleased, and he cannot really understand Krishna by the charity, austerity, by reading Vedas. But if you do it for Krishna, some devotion should be there. Without devotion, you cannot do. Because austerities and penances, the demons like Hiranyakashipu and Ravana, they do a lot of austerities. But why we are calling them demons? Because they are opposed to Krishna. They have no devotion for Krishna. That's why they are demons. Yes? Okay.
Actually, pious activities, there are three kinds: Bhogamukh, Mukti-Ummukh and Bhakti-Ummukh Sukriti. So if we do some pious activities, that is Bhakti-Ummukh, like taking prasad, like some are distributing prasad and some are taking, so they are getting Bhakti-Ummukh Sukriti. So it's like accounting some bhakti. Next life they will get like that result.
Yeah, yes, means it's a categorization. Means doing for Krishna. You can simply say, if you do for Krishna, then you'll get benefit. That's the point. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.